Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of April 18th. As usual, we'll get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Fortified, Bursting, Explosive, and Thundering. Again, that's Fortified, Bursting, Explosive, and Thundering. A bit of an easy week for everybody other than healers. Healers having to deal with Bursting, your group, letting Bursting stacks roll. Healers are expected to kill Explosive, although Explosive is going to be gone next season, so you won't have to do that for long. It is Fortified week though too. So basically, if you aren't a healer, it's a pretty easy week for you. If you're a healer, it's probably a little bit annoying. But if you're a really good player, maybe you can feel like you carry your group or something like that. So again, yeah, that that could be a little bit rough. We're coming up at the end of the season, of course, and so anybody who's like kind of pushing rank, this is another good week to push rank again. If you have a healer who doesn't mind dealing with all the possible issues here, of course, that's mostly in pugs. In a real, dedicated group, you're not going to roll your bursting stacks over to the point where you're going to wipe and stuff like that. So mostly pug issues there. But generally, easy week for everybody other than the healers. As for what's going on in game this week, we had the end of Noble Garden already hit. So we only have like basically weekly events going on. We have the pet battle bonus event. If you're into pet battles, obviously this is your week. We have PvP Brawl Cooking Impossible. And then we also have the time walking for this week being the Legion time walking. You can take part in that and get your piece of heroic gear for your main or for your alts just by doing 5 time walking dungeons. I've actually liked this event. I always say just give good rewards for the events because it makes people want to do them more. Like when the reward is very low, yes, there's a group of people that would still do them because maybe they don't do any end game stuff. But as soon as you make the reward somewhat interesting, then pretty much everybody who plays the game might want to do it. Not just people who are maybe more casual, but you have literally everybody. And even some casuals who maybe normally wouldn't waste the time for a piece of like normal gear or something. When it's heroic, maybe they do then take the time to do it. So I always am for increasing rewards and not worrying about if the content is too easy or whatever. That's always been my thoughts on that. Other than that, last week again, I didn't have much content to put out. Hasn't been very many updates really. There was a slight change to the Ret Paladin tier set. I didn't think it was worth doing a video over, especially because the change they made was something that I pretty much suggested that they might do. I could actually see maybe the AoE portion of the tier sets getting nerfed, but I still am not sure that the single target portion is strong enough. Obviously, still waiting to see simulations. Projections for next season. There's none of those for Ret Paladin yet, at least to my knowledge, at least not publicly. And so still waiting to see that, but I think the single target could still possibly be too weak despite the slight alteration there. And the alteration also made the AoE stronger, so it could be a thing where the AoE part of it is too strong and the single target part is still not strong enough. And if they keep adjusting it with my suggestion only with nothing else, you'll eventually get to a strong single target, but then like a very overpowered multi-target. Just very interested to see where they go with that. So that was some like very minor news. I didn't think it really deserved a video. There was some big affix news. I probably could and should have done a video on the affixes being changed, explosive being removed. We mentioned that at the top of the video during the Mythic Plus affixes. Explosive is removed. They've made affixes. They're making them much easier, which I think is good. I'm not sure. I should do a video on it because I would really love to just put some thought into maybe what they think and why they are so gung ho about affixes when it seems like a lot of the community wants just the dungeons to scale and then you just only play the dungeon at a harder difficulty instead of affixes as well. I think it's a interesting discussion to have because I think the people that say that they don't want affixes, I think they're right. Like they know what they do and don't want, but I don't think it's like as cut and dry as they think it is. And then the people who defend affixes, I don't think I think maybe are just kind of defending what has always existed. So I think there's like some maybe confusion on both sides, maybe people talking past each other kind of thing. It's not that much of a debate, I suppose, so it's not like it's a big deal. But yeah, I would really like to think more on that about the Mythic Plus affixes and where they're going with them and what it actually what's the relevance of them, frankly. So I would like to see that maybe. And then other than that, if you follow the channel, you know we finally got our mythic Razagath kill, got our cutting edge 9 in a row. We didn't participate in the mini raid during BFA. I can't remember what it was called, the 3 boss raid. We were still, working on the current raid that was out when they released that mini raid. That's the problem with releasing mini raids at like in the middle of a progression thing, is that if for a casual guild, you're not gonna be able to finish your prog on your main raid and then also start prog on the mini raid. It's just not gonna ever work out. So like I like mini raids, I actually really enjoy them, but I wish that maybe they could, almost put them like, okay, so we didn't have time to do a full raid, like you sprinkle the mini raids in, like maybe because of holidays or something like that, right? So maybe a patch wouldn't normally be ready in January, so instead because of the holidays in December, and so maybe you release a mini raid in January that takes you to March, right? That would work with this current patch cycle, right? So release 10.1 with a full raid, and then in January or whatever you release a mini raid just for a couple months, 2-3 months, whatever, and then you do 10.2 at that point. After that, I could see that being a better way to do that. But yeah, we got our CE again. It was actually a pretty clean tier for us, especially on polls. Like our poll counts were very good for pretty much all the bosses. We were kind of meh on Razagath poll count, and we were kind of meh on Dathia poll count. Like not like really great or anything. Not bad either. Like average or better than average, whatever. But on other bosses we were quite good. So pretty good tier for us. Very very proud of the raid team. Had a lot of fun. Once again, I really enjoyed this raid. I actually would have really liked to be able to go back and farm through this raid and do parses and stuff, because I actually kind of enjoyed this raid. So a bit of a bummer there for the timing thing. If the raid released at kind of like the normal time, if Diablo 4 wasn't about to come out, we'd still have a solid month at least to do parses and stuff like that. Instead, it's going to be like just 2 weeks. So that's unfortunate. Other than that, I've been PvPing a lot still. I did not take advantage of PvP when Ret was completely broken in PvP. Ret is very average or lackluster PvP now. In fact, I don't even see any Rets anymore. When I queue for things, seems like all the flavor of the month PvP Rets put down their swords and are back on their main classes or whatever. As I don't see many Rets anymore. And, I'm still having a decent amount of fun. It's still more tanky than it was, of course. We have more buttons to press. We have Divine Protection. So we're more tanky than we were before. So it's like, it's still better than it was before. It's just, not at that elite level that it was for so long. Well, not even for so long, for like a week or two. It was at like an elite level. But I've been doing a lot of that. And yeah, I haven't been able to play a lot. Some real life stuff just kind of keeping me extremely busy and unable to really play as much as I want to and do as much stuff as I want to. I need to get on the PTR and start really testing some stuff out, I suppose, because very interested to see how Ret's going to work in 10.1, because I'm a little bit worried. I'm very happy about the tankiness again. Please don't take away the tankiness of Ret right now, in PvE especially. But I am a little bit worried maybe about the single target damage, especially right now. Maybe my worries are unfounded. Maybe Execution Sentence will just be really good. It's a very single target heavy raid. And then for Mythic Plus, I think the AoE is going to be fine with the tier set bonus. So we'll see. I am a little bit worried though. Yeah, so hopefully this week I actually have some content coming out. Hopefully we have some big news that come out too. I'm always a little bit, should I do a video or not, when it's just like a small topic, should I do a video on it or not? So hopefully there's some big news where I don't question myself at all, and I'm like, yeah, this is something that needs talked about. That would be really good if that happened this week. If not, maybe I will do some smaller videos about small news that comes out. So that's it for this one. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.